Welcome to Mark Alyn's Culinary Adventures. Ever buy a jar of pasta sauce and go, Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to take one of the better pasta sauces, which is Rouse, and they have all kinds of flavors, and we're going to make this an award-winning sauce. We're going to make a bolognese for your pasta. You can make it spaghetti bolognese. We're going to make it fettuccine because bolognese because that's what they had at the market, and it's going to be a great show with David Fetter, who returns to Mark Alyn's Culinary Adventures. So don't go away because this is an exciting show, and it'll show you how to make a world-class pasta sauce, real fast and easy. And we're going to start by doing something right now that we haven't done for a while. We're going to start with a little bit of wine. Uh, this is a wine, I have to tell you. Let's bring David in, okay? Uh, David, you're going to love this. Hello, David, who resides in Texas. And I'm not sure if Texas is another state or another country, but
It's
maybe
another country.
it is. Um, so I went to Albertsons, which is uh, Safeway in many parts of the country, and they have a great wine selection. And I found a Chianti that retails for $28 a bottle. But this is, yeah, I did not buy that. I did buy it actually because it was on sale for $7.40.
Get out. It was
Yeah,
waiting for you.
and it was the last bottle. It's a screw top. If we have time, we'll talk about screw top versus corks. I'm going to pour a little bit, and then we should toast. You have
Have a
some
beer.
beer. You have a beer. It's
So,
Texas after
oh
all.
yeah, I had broccoli tea, but I'm done with that. It's time for beer.
I'm done with that too. Broccoli tea. Ooh.
I
All right.
I
Um,
will explain the broccoli tea a little later.
you got it. All right. Here we go.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. I
That's
was
what they say in
actually
Bologna.
yes, I was actually in Italy, and we toured a kosher winery that specializes in Chianti. And in fact, the owner of the vineyard and winery is the president of the Chianti Association. And
Wow.
it was really an interesting time. So, L'chaim, I'll
Nice.
take another sip.
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
found out last spring that I'm Sephardic Jewish, and we thought the family went from Portugal to
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam to London to New York.
Right.
But we found out that we spent nearly 200 years in Venice, Italy.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
turns out I got some Italian blood in me.
Wow. I found out that our family started in Portugal
Hmm.
and immigrated to Amsterdam and then eventually to Poland. So I'm no longer Sephardic, I'm Ashkenazi. But that's another story. Okay,
Dude, 6 degrees of separation here.
exactly. We were probably cousins of some kind. Uh,
You would be
we're going to
surprised.
make, yeah, we are going to make a pasta sauce out of a jarred pasta sauce, right?
Right.
And we're going to, yeah,
I was going to
go
say
ahead.
that's considered a big no-no among the culinarians of the world. But hey, sometimes you only got 30 minutes to get dinner to the table, you know?
Right.
So we're going to make this
And
sauce as if it simmered for hours.
got it. And it'll only be 30 to 40 minutes. All right, we're going to start. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to turn on my pan, let that heat up a little bit. And in the meantime, I've got a can of anchovies here. There we
Oh,
go.
the
And
kind I use.
yes, they used to sell Centro, and which is an Italian olive oil anchovy, and I really like those. I have not tasted these yet, but we'll try. So let's go over here. We're going to put about 2 tablespoons or all of the uh, oil from the anchovies into the pan. I am going to use the anchovies later, and I'm going to make a Caesar salad dressing, which will post uh, under the bolognese that we're making. And you can do this bolognese several different ways. And it occurred to me, David, that we're going to be making it with some beef, but you could, if we had chopped the uh, portobello mushrooms even finer, that and added more, we could have used the mushrooms and made it vegan.
This is true. This is true. And I typically use turkey. This is a recipe that I make in some form or another roughly once a week for the family. And we'll use either turkey or if we want to go plant based, we have some other ways to do it too.
Yeah, um, grape nuts. I don't get
Yes.
that one. I don't get that one. But all right, let's go back over here, and I'm going to pour that in. Now, if I need more olive oil, I do have some olive oil that I can add. I love the
Yes.
smell. I love the smell of anchovies, and I love the taste even more.
We are big on anchovies in my family, and that's the brand we found that we like the best. The brand you're using, and yes, that's right about all the olive oil that's in those anchovies tins that I use when I make this at home.
Got it. All right. So I have some fennel. Fennel, I love fennel. I think it's great. It's got a little licoricey flavor, and it's often used in many Italian dishes. Um, Both the seeds and the actual bulb. It,
Right, and we use both in this recipe.
yeah, I'm curious. Is fennel related to onions and garlic?
It is not. It's related to anise and the mesquite tree, but I'm 99% certain it's not an allel, not an Alyn, an allel, or an allium, if we want to be
I'm going to
really.
add the fennel in there. Now,
I do know that fennel is also related distantly to dill,
oh,
but no onion, no garlic.
got it. I'll let that simmer for a moment or two, and then we're going
Hmm.
to add some whole fennel seeds.
Right. Now, do you have your water going for your pasta, or have you already made that and you've
I've
set it
already
aside?
made the pasta, and
Okay.
now when I cook and when you cook, we don't measure. So I'm going to throw those
This is
seeds
true,
in.
but I measured for the sake of this show.
Um,
So we can say that we're adding about, say, a teaspoon of whole fennel seed, a teaspoon of sea salt, and then about a half a teaspoon of very coarsely ground black pepper. Do you have all that in
okay.
there? Do you have the salt in there?
I've got the black pepper.
Okay.
Throw that in, and the salt. Now I don't cook with a lot of salt. This is Melissa's Himalayan pink salt that I'm going to use.
Mm.
I really like it, and it's easy to use. By the way, the we should say that over here we have our Melissa cam, and you can see that we've got tomatoes and shallots and garlic, potatoes, um, some mini bell peppers that we were going to put into this, but we decided not to, and some red onions and red potatoes over there as well. So thank you, Carol, for setting up our Melissa cam. We really appreciate that. All right, I'm going to put in some salt. I don't use a lot of it, just a couple of grinds. And I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil.
Okay, now is a good time to add the meat and garlic if you're using it. I do not.
I'm
But
going to put the garlic in first, then the meat.
yeah, you want to sweat that garlic a little bit.
So, all right, good. So we like a lot of garlic. Carol, can you hand me either a wood spoon, please? Do you like to, when you're stirring, do you like to use wood? I talked to Faye Levy about this.
Mhm.
She loves cooking with a wood spoon rather than a plastic or a metal spoon. How about you?
After more than 15 years in professional kitchens, I'm afraid I use tongs for just about everything. They are an extension of my hands.
Got it.
I don't know if the professional chefs still do that. It's been many years since I was in a professional kitchen, but tongs, tongs, tongs.
Okay, I'm going to add the meat now. I have a
Okay,
pound of meat and
correct.
going to add this in. I was lucky because I found some meat that was only 10% fat.
But that's where the flavor is.
Yeah, I know. But we try to be a little bit healthy.
That's healthy. We need fat.
Yes. We should mention that David is a registered dietitian. He has a degree in that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and I'm all but dissertation for a nutrition biochemistry PhD. Didn't write my dissertation. Bad boy.
Ooh, yeah. Well, it's not too late, David.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to start all over from scratch.
Got it.
They give you 5 years, 10 if you're lucky, but it's been 30.
Oh, well.
So,
All right. I'm going
okay,
to
so we
turn
want
that
that.
up just a little bit. I'm going to, it's, what time it is, David?
It is l'chaim, as they
L'chaim
say in
again.
Italy. Mhm. So while the beef is cooking, I will tell you about the broccoli tea.
Mm,
And when I steam broccoli, I save the water, I drink it, I like it. It's very tasty. But why was I making broccoli? I made tonight
I'm
for
sorry. I was
what?
making faces. Broccoli. I'm not a broccoli fan. Now, Carol loves broccoli.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll have to try that. We'll save the
Yeah, the
water.
water is wonderful. Yeah, it's great to if you want a nice little hot sip while you're doing whatever you're doing. Now, what was I doing with the broccoli? I was making because I had the bolognese last night. That's confessions here. So tonight I made stuffed mushrooms
Ooh,
and stuffed baby portobellos. Let's see if we can get that up on the camera.
we have
And
we have here. I'll show you. I have some baby portobellos that I've sliced,
Okay.
right?
So, yep, those can go in. I think we were actually supposed to put those in a little earlier, weren't we? Oh,
Oh,
well, we can put them in now. Yep,
all
we were
right.
supposed to put those in before the beef, but we can put those in now. I will tell
Got
you a
it.
trick that I do. The idea was to make this easy and fast. When I have a little extra time, I cook the mushrooms separately in butter and
Oh,
fold them into the sauce at the very last minute before serving. And it's just a variation on this recipe that y'all can do. I like it. But the stuffed mushrooms, if you wish, did you get a good look at them, Mark? Did you see the stuffed portobello, baby bellas?
no, go ahead. Show me. Ooh, I love stuffed mushrooms.
And if you wish, I'll
Yeah.
come
Hey, we got
back.
to get, yeah, you'll come back and we'll do those.
Okay, I wrote down the recipe as I was making it, which is a very rare thing for me. But I figured, you know, I got to start doing that more often.
when you when you're cooking, we've already established that when you're cooking for yourself or your family, that you don't make um, you don't measure. It's
All right.
by instinct, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Do you remember what you did last night so that next week or 2 weeks from now you can make the same thing?
Usually, because it's the same instinct, and I've been in the food business for 52 years, and I started out
Which
as
is
a.
pretty interesting because he's only 48 years old.
I wish. So, no, I started out at 15 in fast food joints and worked my way up. By 19, I was running a five-star kitchen and just stayed in it for many years, and then shifted into the nutrition science. And while I was doing the nutrition science, I had been, as a chef, I had been called upon to do a lot of articles about food and travel. And I kept up freelance journalism while I was, going through school. And then the reason I didn't write my dissertation was because I had finished the research and the coursework and crunching the numbers and statistics and got right up to having to do the dissertation. And I got a job offer as a full time journalist for the food and nutrition department at Better Homes and Gardens magazine. And like everybody who has, dropped out, everybody who's an ABD said, "Oh, I'll tackle that as soon as I get resettled wherever I'm going," and of course, never did.
Got it.
So
I get it.
I've been in food
Well,
journalism ever since, and
yeah,
that was
I
30 years
I'm
ago.
I'm trying to think. The first time I did a restaurant review, I was 21 years old,
Wow.
and so that was
McDonald's.
no. It was one of the first things I did. We didn't. Nobody knew what sushi was, other than it was raw fish, and I was invited in, and I wrote this article, and it was on. It kept going on and on and on because the owner of the restaurant, who is not Japanese,
Hmm.
would just kept bringing out different foods, wanting me to taste it, and it was
Wow.
very interesting. The publicist was Dorothy Hunley, and she's in that big kitchen in the sky, so we miss her. Everything
Yeah.
is coming together. The mushrooms are almost cooking down.
Oh, good. Yeah,
We
well,
have,
great. Now's a good time to add the vino.
okay, I've got vino
Or
to
I'm
add,
sorry,
and
no,
you
let's
know,
let's add tomatoes first.
oh, and you know what we forgot to add? I think
No, no, no. Now's the time to add them.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
have some Italian seasoning.
Yes, I was going to say add the tomatoes and the herbs.
Okay,
And then just when the tomatoes start to get soft, you can add the wine.
got it. Now we didn't. We added about a cup of roughly chopped Roma tomatoes, and these again are from Melissa's, and they're red and beautiful. And I was eating some of these earlier. They're very, very good. Okay, it's
Melissa's
smelling
also
really
has
good.
Melissa's also has these small thumb-sized Marzano tomatoes. If you remember, you and I used them in the chili last time I visited you,
Yes, right.
and those are the bomb. They're a beautiful dark red sweet tomato, just gorgeous, and that's what I like to use in this recipe.
Do you like some of the heirloom tomatoes? Uh, I see them in various markets. Whole Foods has a variety: yellow, red, even purple. Do you
Yeah,
like to use those at all?
I love to, and they just have a wonderful true tomato flavor that you can usually not get unless you yank it off the vine. And it does make a huge difference. It just it's
Yeah,
a floral. It's a tomato flavor punch these
yeah, I
days.
love it. We've been, Carol. I don't think we'll be able to grow tomatoes this year. It's we tried last year. Was it last year or the year before? The tomatoes just sat there. They didn't grow, and we didn't. I think we had one tomato.
Yeah.
$35 worth of tomato plants, right? Okay, I've
I'm
got.
going through the same thing. We're having an unusual. It's weird. It'll torrential rain for several days. I'm in Central Texas, Austin. Torrential rain for 1 or 2 days, and then hot and dry all of a sudden. In the 90s and sunny,
Right,
and
and
all my.
humid,
Hmm?
and humid for you.
No, not well. It is because of the rain, but usually Austin's not that humid. But yeah, my tomatoes have just stayed green and hard. They're not getting enough sun to turn.
You
And
can pickle them. They're
yes,
delicious.
yes, and I do have some. There's one right now, a second one that's turning. I got these heirloom tomatoes. They are a nice dark orange color.
Mm.
And I've got another one that could be ready. But now that I've suffered through the rain and the sun and the all that, now I got bugs trying to eat them.
Ah,
So I drop more than $100 on seeds and soil and other garden stuff every year, and I'm growing some purple string beans. Beautiful,
ooh.
flavorful. We've had 5 or 6 string beans so far, so I think it's like $20 a bean.
How much wine should I put in?
Well, put in a cup, but that's in the pan, and you can put another cup in your glass.
Oh, okay, got it. By the way, this is a Candoni Chianti. Um, it's uh, if you noticed here. Wait, whoa, DOCG from Italy. Now,
That means
what it does not have, is the rooster, and that's
ah.
really required for it to be a true Chianti. So, but
All right.
I,
Well, now
for
you know
seven
why.
and a half bucks, I couldn't resist.
Don't put in a cup. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Put in half a cup.
Gotcha. All
So
right.
half in the pan, half in the glass.
You got it. Let's stir this up a little bit.
Okay? And
Oh,
you do have
does
the
this
herbs,
smell
right?
good?
Mhm.
Can you smell it from back there, Carol? You can give. Does it? Good.
I can
Um,
smell it in Texas.
yes, and I think that not to be political, but the climate change that we've been experiencing worldwide is really taking its toll. Today, I thought it was going to be sunny here in Southern California, at least where we are, just outside of Los Angeles. It's cold and uh, it's not cold. Oh, I thought it
You
was
got to get
cold, but at least it's overcast. I mean, it's
out.
not sunny. What is it?
Um,
That's where we are, and we're kind of close to the beach. All right, here's another toast.
L'chaim again.
Hmm.
We have had unusual weather in Texas as well, but the whole thing about you said not to get political. The thing about climate change is it you can't be political about it. Whether it's because it's the hundred
Yes.
thousand year cycle, the 10,000 year cycle, whether human industry has done a little bit or a lot, to me, it's as if you're working in an emergency room and you got your three emergency doctors and the head of the emergency department, and they bring in somebody who's been, battered, run over in some kind of road accident. And if the doctors start arguing, oh, it was a truck that hit him. No, it was a motorcycle. No, it was a car. It's like, no, you fix it. You do whatever it takes to heal the patient. The patient is Earth. You do what it takes,
Well,
and it's irrelevant
got it.
what caused it. So that's my
We're a,
take.
I got it. We are about to put in, I think, the tomato sauce. Now, we're back over here at,
Yeah, we need to
yes.
add a little chicken broth or vegetable broth, chicken broth, whatever you wish to use.
Um,
Mushroom broth. You can get mushroom broth at Whole Foods.
right.
So
I don't think we're going to need it.
okay,
And mainly because I didn't get any. So I'm going to, I think we need a cup and a half
right, cup and a half of the rouse,
of the
which is
roux. So
half a jar.
right. So I'm going to put in a cup first. Oh, this smells so good. Now, we should point out that you mentioned that you don't use garlic. You're allergic
I'm
to
allergic.
garlic.
I'm a Sephardic Jewish chef who's allergic to garlic and onion.
That's
I
an
can take
onion.
onion. I can take onion if it's been cooked forever, but like in a stew or in the chili we did.
Right?
But garlic, nope.
No. Huh. Well, I love garlic. Carol does too. We have a lot of garlic in here. Um,
I love the flavor. I mean, that's not the flavor was never a problem. It's just the reaction.
got it.
Um,
All right. I'm going to add some more of the rouse. And rouse makes a number of different flavors, including a sensitive flavor that doesn't
right,
have garlic or onion. And
right.
for
That's the
those
one
of
I
you,
use.
yeah,
Mhm. They have a new one out for all of you. A lot of people don't know this. There are at least 5 million Americans who have the same allergy,
wow,
and uh, it's uh, it's not as uncommon as people think. But Rouse came out with a four cheese sauce that also is onion and garlic free. So, but I use the sensitive marinara for this recipe.
got it. Now,
And what you said earlier, Rouse makes an outstanding jarred sauce.
they
It
do. I agree.
really is impressive.
It's our go-to jar, and we also uh, occasionally try. Turn that up just a bit. Uh, um, Trader Joe's makes a number of sauces, and they have small jars. And
Mm.
because it's just Carol and me, it works really well. Uh,
we use the big jar. There's just me, my wife, and our 7-year-old who's not but knee high to a grasshopper. So he's a wee lad. But
yeah, we lad.
yeah, but yeah, we have when we make this, we also use gluten-free pasta, and that's my wife has the gluten sensitivity. I've got the garlic allergy, and our 7-year-old is allergic to peanuts, cashews, and pistachios.
Oh my.
So cooking, shopping, we don't go out to eat very much. There's not a whole lot we can do in that department.
One of the things that I like to do in tomato sauce, if I make my own marinara,
Hmm.
is to add a little bit of sugar. You have a sugar substitute that I did not try. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of sugar. Tell us about that.
There are two that I use. They are sugars. They're natural sugars. The one I usually use is allulose, and it's not commonly known because they couldn't extract it. It comes from corn, even wheat, tapioca, jackfruit, raisins, and it can be extracted from that. But they couldn't extract it inexpensively until around the early 2000s. And, so it's not very well known, and it was still expensive until about 7 or 8 years ago.
Got it.
And we finally got the price down to where it could be, you can buy it in the store now. Unfortunately, most of the people who retail allulose cut it with erythritol or stevia, which is abhorrent to me. But that's
Yes, I
because
agree.
it's unnecessary.
If
But
there's, yeah, we met not long ago in Anaheim,
uh
along with the Gillian Christie from Christie and Company,
well, if you
and
remember, we met years before, and we
we did.
forgot. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you remembered. And but and we were at an event and we picked up, but the uh, I tried half a dozen stevias. I cannot. I don't like them.
No, the
There's an
linger is awful.
aftertaste. The linger. The aftertaste is just no good.
Well, that's what's beautiful about allulose and tagatose. Tagatose does have calories. It's got about a third the calories of sucrose, table sugar. Allulose has 1/20th the calories, if that. There are some researchers who think it's a 0 calorie sugar, and it's very similar to fructose chemically. It's what's called an epeisomer of fructose. So because that chemical shape is bent a little bit in the wrong direction, your body doesn't recognize it. But unlike the some of the disasters they've had with things like fat, that they've reconfigured,
Yes.
there are no side effects. It functions and tastes just like table sugar. It browns. It's more
Can,
hygroscopic. So it's hard to make it into a candy, but for
can you
purposes,
bake with it?
you bet you can. And in fact, it
Wow.
browns really nice. And the interesting thing about it is that it elevates, because I guess because it's similar to fructose, it elevates the flavor of fruits. So if you're making like a banana bread, it makes a gorgeous banana bread.
Mm.
Um, Tagatose, like I said, tagatose is an even cleaner sweetness that's closer to sucrose, table sugar, has a third of the calories, but it also acts as a fiber. So it's a good prebiotic fiber.
Ah,
And it's a very clean sweet, and you can use that as you would any other sugar. There's our pasta.
there's our
So
pasta. Now, I used fettuccine because I couldn't find spaghetti. This is a ragna pasta. It cooks
mhm.
in about 2 minutes. It's based in Italy, though it is made here in the U.S. And we find this to be inexpensive. In fact, the package I bought was $2. So you
Nice.
right, and I think it was 12 or 14 ounces. 9 ounces, thank you. But that's going to be enough for dinner tonight and possibly even tomorrow night. And I'm going to show you that it pulls apart very
Ah,
easily.
alrighty.
Okay, and we cook this in advance. All right, I'm going to put the sauce on, I think, now.
All right. Okay.
Okay, David?
Yeah. It looks great. So now we use Barilla, but we use Barilla gluten free, and it's the only gluten free pasta we have found that has the flavor, texture, and the durability of a good semolina flour pasta. And the flavor is great. And I have no connection to Barilla whatsoever, but I got to tell you, I was in their factory. I've been in their factory in Iowa twice, and it's one of the cleanest, if not the cleanest, food factories I've ever been in.
Wow.
You know, when they say you could eat off the floor, you could eat off the floor. It is spotless.
You've been to my house then, because
Okay,
you can eat off of Carol's floor at any
there it
time.
is.
At
Is
any
it,
time.
Carol, are you busy every Wednesday?
All right,
So,
I've got some grated Parmesan Romano,
okay.
and I'll sprinkle that on.
And if you have a chiffonade of fresh basil laying around
Ah, we
anywhere,
forgot the basil.
well, it
We
goes on right now if you have it. If you don't have it,
Go ahead.
well,
Well, wait a second. We're gonna go. Carol's gonna go get it,
okay.
um, and we'll cut it up. Actually, what I do with the basil is I tear it rather
Oh,
than. And I'm going to let this cool a little bit. It's heating the pasta, and I like to have the pasta underneath the sauce,
that's a good way to do it.
right?
Toss it at the
So
table.
just be 1 second. I paid under $3 for a whole bunch of basil, and I pronounce it basil, basil.
Hmm. I've got some in my
That's good.
garden, which is great because it's the first time in years I've been able to get basil to grow. So
Yes, we
I
have
garden
some.
every year, but I
We
have a
have
black
this is
or purple
back
thumb, whatever
here
it
is
is.
some basil. Oh,
Ah, nice.
Carol's gonna wash it off for us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
I'm a stubborn gardener because I'm terrible at it. I My favorite thing to grow is potatoes, and
oh
3 years
no!
in a row, no potatoes. Couldn't get any. But I think it's funny. The potatoes in my garden did not do well. But when I was planting potatoes, I had some left. I just cut up organic potatoes and throw them in the ground, and I had some left over, and I just put them in a giant pot, I've got like this 50-gallon garden pot, and I just threw them in there, and those are the ones that are doing well. That I didn't. I just
Wow.
threw them in, threw the dirt in, boom, and they're doing well. So hopefully
So
I'll.
I have a question to
Yes.
you. The chiffonade is thin sliced
Right, shreds almost with a knife.
shreds.
Yeah. So what you
Okay,
can do? Well, I was going to say what you can do is roll it and then just.
right. I'm just going to take a little bit and throw it on
Mhm.
top. As I said, I like to tear it.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy and whatever's tastiest for you.
All right, here we go.
Mm, that looks gorgeous.
It's Here we go. I'm going to show you this again. There you go. Thanks, Carol.
Oh, look at
Uh,
that. That looks
all
better
right.
than the one I made last night.
This is, Here we go.
What's the
Oh,
word?
fabulous. Mm.
Hey. Now we forgot the part where you adjust the seasonings to taste, but if you didn't need to, that's good endorsement.
And we didn't need the chicken soup. the chicken
Chicken
stock.
stock.
It's got a
Okay.
little from the Italian seasonings that I put in. It's got a little bit of a kick. It was I used leaf oregano, dried basil, and a little bit of red peppers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, in my professional days, and even most of the time at home, would never use dried herbs, never. And I just started just a little bit here and there as a time saver, and mostly when I was living up in Chicago and it was hard to get fresh
Mm.
herbs during most of the
Yeah.
year. And now I'm just kind of, there are things I use them for.
Mm.
Some things I would never use dried herbs for, but
Hmm.
something like this, it works well.
It works great. This is fabulous. It's easy, relatively low calorie as well,
Yeah.
right? David, thank you very much. You're going to come back. You're going to do stuffed mushrooms,
Yes,
and
they came out gorgeous.
they did. They look great.
Yeah.
And does your 7-year-old eat those stuffed mushrooms?
He did. He did tonight. It's surprising because he likes to tell me he hates mushrooms.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but he ate those. So
Yeah. I
another
we
learning investment.
we make stuffed mushrooms on a fairly regular basis. I can't wait to get your recipe. All right, David, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This is
You'll
always
come
just
back?
yeah,
Good,
anytime, anytime.
good. All right,
So
hold on. I'm going to put you in the green room, and I thank you for watching. If you have any comments about what we've done today, let us know, will you? Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Bye bye for now. Thanks, Carol.
yeah.